We have
And
fresh dates.
Oh,
Okay. And then we also have some tea. All sorts of green and different teas. And
that's it.
my wife says to me all the time, she says to me, she goes, you have to take yours. If she's a quarter as stressed as my wife is, she goes, the tea will help relax.
You have to make the gift for. I don't think. How are you? Zainab?
Yes.
That's my daughter's name.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can the other guests join?
You want to present your gift?
Yeah, we can do actually.
The textile shirt.
Oh wow.
So we're trying for. Is it from Thai Lab, another company?
Okay.
With the Thai Lab. Have you heard of them?
No.
Thai Lab.
Okay.
And then this.
Thank you so much. We're doing a lot of stuff actually with local Nigerian.
That would be good to introduce him. I said that would be good to introduce him because he needs more work. He's quite creative, and I don't even know. I was even thinking about helping him financially, but we want to see. I've not met him, but I think he can do better. Because I went to Mozambique and I see how their pottery industry is.
So we do a lot of stuff with him, and my wife certainly does. I know from that, she, whenever we go abroad, whenever we go somewhere, she takes a different conversation we need to have. But my wife has got 2 people in Israel who want to import it and do a proper business with it. They love it to that extent, so there's real potential.
His card is there and his number. So we try to make sure we protect him, and I'm glad. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
There you go.
Very much.
I wouldn't possibly get you through. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Before becoming First Lady as a Senator, and looked at that, and obviously since then, and the key areas that you've been working in, primarily, obviously a lot on women's empowerment, and it's something that, as an embassy, we are very committed to. It's something that's very important to us, and I think that as Israel we have a lot to offer in a number of areas, particularly in women's empowerment, which we want to talk about partnering. And if I may, I will highlight 4 areas very briefly, and we can go from there. The first one is science and technology. And we have, in this area, where we have a program called the iFair program. It's a program which takes young Nigerian entrepreneurs and innovators, gives them a 6-month to 8-month mentorship program to help them develop their products, take them to market in primarily the manufacturing base. We've been running this program we've had 4 cohorts of the program. We take each time a dozen companies, and 50% of those are women. And the aim of the program is to help develop them and to show young Nigerians that their future is in Nigeria and not somewhere else, and they can develop their company. And we work with them with Israeli mentors, with Nigerian mentors, and we work on this program. We are looking to expand the program for the next cohort and double the numbers. We have a very impressive innovation center outside on the airport road, which is the key center, working on innovation. And over the next year, we will be working with our partners there to open 30 more innovation centers across the country, based out of universities primarily, but also in other areas, aiming to attract young Nigerians to give them the skills and the technology that we can to help create. I'd very much like to invite you to visit the center at some point at your convenience, so you can see quite what an amazing place it is and quite what a difference it's making. The second area is agriculture. Israel is probably the world leader in agriculture. And we would like to work with your office and with you to increase capacity particularly for women farmers, and for farming generally in this country. But certainly when it comes to training them to be able to do more than sustenance farming, to be able to do something which will also allow them to create small businesses, allow them to develop. We know that the more that women are successfully employed, even if that's self-employment, the greater stability that brings to a country, the greater education that brings to children, the less violence there is in the country. Women ultimately are so critical in that element, and we believe that agriculture, you are blessed in this country with the perfect climate, the perfect soil, and everything that you need. And we are blessed with the technology and the people that want to work with you and to train trainers and to train women to work in there. So again, we could talk for hours, but I'm not going to. But in agriculture is another key area. Linked to the technology, we are developing a program of computer classrooms. One of the things that we think is really important is allowing young people and older people access to technology and to help them. And one of the things that we know is that they need that technology there. So we've worked on a program over the last couple of years. Our next program, the next classroom that we will be opening is with an organization called MeCat, which works to rehabilitate young girls who have been trafficked, and we bring them back. They bring them back into Nigeria, and they educate against trafficking. And we're going to be opening a classroom there to give those young women skills and opportunities in the future. So that they can see what a positive is. We would very much like to work with you to identify more places that would work with you and your office for opening computer classrooms. We can choose random places, but we'd like them to be targeted. We target them up and down the country, and we would want to work with your office to say, okay, let's do one here, let's do one there, and to start to think about that. And the other one is we actually recently did an art project. We worked with two artists, an Israeli artist and a Nigerian artist, and they created a joint artwork, a one of a kind. Instead of doing two artworks that would be together, they did one artwork that was worked on together. We recently sold that by auction, and the money that has done, we are going to be working with the Nigerian artist, Dr. Peju, who works out of the Lagos University, and we are going to be working with her to build a textile laboratory in the university that will train young people, again, men and women, but to train them so that Nigeria can develop a textile arts program out of the university. So we're working with her, and again, we don't know when it'll be ready, but we have the money and we have the commitment and we have her who works there. And the very final thing is women's corporations, to think about training women to build their own cooperatives more than corporations. Cooperatives using examples of, for example, the Bedouin in Israel, the Bedouin women who for certain areas in Nigeria will be a good model to think about how we do that. So those are the really very, very quick headlines of where we are, but we see huge potential, and we have seen, and I have seen your leadership on these issues, and your very clear and outspoken direction on it, and therefore we would very much like to partner and work with you on these and other issues, anything where we can help.
Look at the population of Nigeria right now, over 200 million. That's quite a number. And how do we, and there are a lot of people living below poverty line, how do you now address that? It's tough. But but still challenges will come, but not that they are not surmountable. And the support we have from, foreign friends, I will put it in that context, has quite been encouraging, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't have, faith in this administration. And I want to really appreciate that. We're going to work with you, because it's in all these areas, because when I was even looking at the the computer classroom for traffic girls, because that's the area we've not even tried to address. Not that we didn't know it exists. Because I remember when we did the protocol and security seminar, we had a lady who has the agency for that. So I was thinking that, it's high time I called her so that we can sit and begin to work with this particular program and see where you can assist there. Because they have the number. They have the number of the girls, but I said, you have an agency, we'll come back to that. Let's look at how we can put food on the table and also get our youth employed, which you have really touched all those areas. I can start going and piecing them bit by bit. And I know with the textile laboratory, you would have seen her, was it a Unity Fabric competition? And we're giving money. And how many entries do we have now? You see, and that's one of the things about Nigerians. When something is new, it's really quite difficult to embrace. It's like they are asking us questions. I say, would I be advertising and lying from this office? I don't really know. Maybe we'll have about 40. And I said what I'm going to do, even if it is 10, I'm going to pick out a winner from that 10, because the others will just lose out of it. And then we're going to have the national fabric based on that person's idea. I'll just ask the person to work with another textile designer so we get something at least meaningful for our country. And, with women cooperatives, we never tried that, but it will be good. So I'm all for this, ready to work, especially that you are the one funding it. Oh, I'll be there to put myself there. I'll be ready to work with you, definitely, if it's something that will help the people of this nation, especially the women folk and our youth. So I want to thank you so much for this visit. We are honored by it, and we pray that our collaborative efforts will yield very good outcome. That was why I thought it must be very, very urgent.
Ambassador of Israel to Nigeria, His Excellency.
A few goodies from Vietnam. So olive oil.
Yes, I was just going to send somebody to buy me olive oil.
There you go, that's solved that problem.
We solved it.
We have fresh dates.
Oh,
Okay. And then we also have some tea. All sorts of green and different teas and
that's it.
my wife says to me all the time, but she said to me, she goes, you have to take those if she's a quarter of as stressed as my wife is, she goes, the tea
Only
will
that
help
you
relax.
have to make the gift for. I do